Hello, and welcome to another episode of Last Week Tonight, where we try to make sense of the nonsensical, like why anyone thought it was a good idea to remake Cats. Seriously, who asked for that? But tonight, we're diving into the world of tech, specifically the company Sonos, known for their sleek speakers and more recently, their not-so-sleek app. This company has been a household name for years. Sonos was once a darling of the tech world, celebrated for its innovation and quality. They promised seamless music streaming throughout your home. And for a while, they delivered. Their products were synonymous with high-end audio experiences. But then came 2024, a year that brought a new app and a whole heap of trouble for the company. The app was supposed to be a game changer, but ended up being a game ender for many users. Think of it like trying to upgrade your phone's operating system, only to have it turn into a brick that only plays Nickelback. Yes, it was that catastrophic. Yeah, it was that bad. Users were left frustrated and angry, feeling betrayed by a brand they once loved. The CEO, Patrick Spence, who had been at the helm for over a decade, ended up stepping down in January 2025. His departure marked a significant shift in the company's leadership. Now, some might say he jumped before he was pushed, while others might say he was thrown under the proverbial tour bus. Either way, it was a dramatic exit. Either way, it was clear that Sonos was in a state of disarray. The once stable company was now facing an uncertain future. So what exactly went wrong at Sonos? How did a company with such promise end up in such a mess? Buckle up, dear viewers, because we're about to dissect this tech tragedy note by note. Stay tuned as we unravel the story behind Sonos's fall from grace. In the tech world, they say move fast and break things. It's a mantra that has driven innovation and disruption across industries. Well, Sonos took that to heart but forgot the move fast part. They were more like move slow and break everything. They spent years developing a brand new app, promising it would be faster, sleeker, and generally more awesome than a monkey wearing a tuxedo riding a unicycle on the moon. Expectations were sky high. The problem was, it wasn't. The app was a disaster from the get-go. The new app, released in May 2024, was buggy, laggy, and about as user-friendly as a rabid badger. Users were left scratching their heads. Users complained about everything from connectivity issues to the app randomly blasting music in the middle of the night. It was a nightmare. Imagine trying to impress a date with some smooth jazz, only to have the app switch to death metal at full volume. Talk about a mood killer, not exactly the mood setter Sonos was going for. It was an embarrassment. Now, to be fair, every new piece of software has a few kinks to work out. It's part of the process. But this was beyond a few kinks. This was a catastrophe. This was a full-blown software meltdown, the kind that makes you want to throw your phone out the window and communicate through smoke signals. It was that bad. Sonos, to their credit, acknowledged the issues and promised to fix them. They were quick to respond, but by then, the damage was done. The trust was broken, their reputation was tarnished, and their once loyal customers were starting to look elsewhere for their audio needs. The fallout was significant. Remember what I said about Sonos being a darling of the tech world? Well, darlings can fall out of favor pretty quickly, especially when they cost you money and give you a headache in return. The app debacle hit Sonos where it hurt, their wallets. The company's revenue took an 8% nosedive in 2024, which in business terms is like getting punched in the gut by a bear wearing boxing gloves. Ouch. Faced with mounting losses and a stock price that was doing its best impression of a lead balloon, Sonos had to take drastic measures. They announced layoffs, letting go of 100 employees, which is never a good look for a company trying to convince everyone that everything is hunky-dory. It was clear that Sonos was in trouble. They were like a ship taking on water, and they needed to bail fast if they wanted to stay afloat. Section 4, Spence out, Conrad in, a changing of the guard. In the corporate world, when things go south, someone has to take the fall. It's a harsh reality, but it's the way the game is played. And in the case of Sonos, that someone was Patrick Spence. He had been a prominent figure, leading the company through various phases of growth and challenges. After over a decade at the helm, Spence stepped down as CEO in January 2025. His departure marked the end of an era for Sonos. Now, I'm not saying Spence single-handedly caused the Sonos meltdown. There were many factors at play, including market dynamics and internal challenges. But as the CEO, he was ultimately responsible. The buck stops with the leader, and Spence had to bear the brunt of the fallout. It's like being the captain of a ship. When it hits an iceberg, you're the one who has to answer for it, even if you weren't the one steering the ship at the time. The responsibility is immense and often unforgiving. Stepping in as interim CEO was Tom Conrad, a longtime board member and tech industry veteran. Conrad was no stranger to the challenges that lay ahead. Conrad had a reputation for being a turnaround artist, someone who could take a struggling company and whip it back into shape. His track record spoke volumes. Think of him as the Mary Poppins of the tech world, only instead of a talking umbrella, he has a PowerPoint presentation and a killer instinct for efficiency. His methods were unconventional but effective. Conrad's mission was clear: fix the app, restore customer trust, and get Sonos back on track. It was a daunting task, but he was ready to tackle it head-on. It was a tall order, but if anyone could do it, Conrad could. His confidence and experience made him the ideal candidate for this critical role. Section 5. Can Sonos recover its rhythm? So the big question is, can Sonos recover from this self-inflicted wound? Can they fix the app, win back their customers, and once again become the go-to name in home audio? Well, it's not going to be easy. The tech world is a fickle mistress, and there are plenty of other companies out there vying for a piece of the audio pie. Sonos is going to have to work hard to regain its footing. To their credit, Sonos has been releasing regular updates to the app, squashing bugs and adding new features. They've also been more transparent with their customers, communicating the steps they're taking to improve the user experience. It's a start, but only time will tell if it's enough. The good news is that Sonos still makes great hardware. Their speakers are still some of the best on the market, and they have a loyal following of audiophiles who swear by their products. If Sonos can fix the software and regain the trust of their customers, they have a good chance of bouncing back. Section 6. The future of Sonos, innovation or bust. Looking ahead, Sonos needs to do more than just fix its app. They need to innovate. They need to come up with new and exciting products that capture the imagination of consumers. One area where Sonos could really make waves is in the world of spatial audio. Imagine a home theater system that surrounds you with sound, making you feel like you're right in the middle of the action. That's the kind of experience that could give Sonos a real edge in the market. Another area where Sonos could innovate is in the realm of artificial intelligence. Imagine a smart speaker that can not only play your music but also control your smart home devices, answer your questions, and even order you a pizza. Now that's what I call a smart speaker. The future of Sonos depends on their ability to adapt, innovate, and stay ahead of the curve. They need to prove that they're not just a one-hit wonder but a company that can continue to create products that people love. Section 7. Lessons learned. A cautionary tale. The Sonos saga is a cautionary tale for any company operating in the fast-paced world of technology. It shows that even the most successful companies can stumble if they're not careful. Here are a few key takeaways from the Sonos story. Don't rush your products to market. It's better to take your time and get it right than to release a half-baked product that alienates your customers. Listen to your customers. They're the ones who use your products, so pay attention to their feedback and address their concerns. Asterisk. Be transparent. If things go wrong, own up to it and communicate clearly with your customers. The tech world is littered with the corpses of companies that failed to adapt and innovate. Sonos has a chance to avoid that fate, but they need to learn from their mistakes and make the necessary changes to stay ahead of the game. And that's our show for tonight. I'm off to listen to some vinyl records on a non-smart speaker just in case. Good night.